A new and rather intriguing piece of research is challenging one of the long-standing assumptions in public health and aging science, that being married is inherently protective when it comes to long-term cognitive health. In a study involving over 24,000 American adults aged 50 and older, researchers found that those who were unmarried, whether never married, divorced, or widowed, had a lower risk of developing dementia than their married peers. While this may sound surprising at first glance, a deeper look at the findings opens up a range of more optimistic and liberating interpretations, especially for those aging outside traditional relationship structures. This study, conducted through the National Alzheimer's Coordinating Center, observed participants over a span of up to 18 years, a significant window of time that strengthens the data's reliability. What's particularly compelling here is not just that unmarried individuals had a lower risk, but that all three groups, the never married, the divorced, and the widowed, showed this unexpected trend when compared to the married cohort. These results encourage a reconsideration of how social roles and lifestyle dynamics impact cognitive resilience, and they offer hopeful news for the millions of people aging independently. The findings give weight to the idea that a fulfilling, cognitively rich life does not depend on marital status. In fact, it suggests that independence might bring certain protective factors to the brain. Contrary to outdated stereotypes that depict single or widowed older adults as isolated or vulnerable, these results hint at a different picture, one where autonomy, varied social networks, and self-guided lifestyles can foster mental agility and perhaps even reduce cognitive decline. Part of this surprising association may lie in the psychological and social experiences that often come with marriage. Though marriage has long been linked to benefits such as shared economic resources, emotional support, and healthier behaviors, it can also introduce stressors, particularly in midlife and later years. The caregiving responsibilities that spouses often take on, along with the emotional strain of marital conflict or health disparities between partners, may actually place a quiet but significant burden on mental health over time. Unmarried individuals may, by contrast, cultivate broader social networks, maintain more diverse friendships, and engage in community life differently, all of which are factors that have been shown in other research to support cognitive health. Freed from certain marital obligations, they might have more time and space to pursue educational, recreational, or physically active lifestyles, all of which are known to keep the brain resilient as it ages. This isn't to say marriage is bad for the brain. Far from it. Many married individuals enjoy strong emotional bonds, share meaningful lives, and support one another in ways that do promote well-being. However, the key message here is that marriage is not the only path, or necessarily the most protective one, when it comes to dementia prevention. The quality of one's lifestyle, social interaction, emotional regulation, and intellectual engagement seem to play a more crucial role than simply marital status. It's worth noting that the researchers themselves acknowledge some limitations. The participants in this study were predominantly white and married, and they volunteered to be part of dementia research, which may reflect a population already skewed towards certain cognitive health characteristics. Still, even with this limitation, the consistency of the finding that unmarried individuals fared better cognitively is difficult to ignore and too important to dismiss as a statistical fluke. Furthermore, these findings arrive at a time when societal norms around marriage are shifting rapidly. More people are delaying marriage, opting not to marry at all, or experiencing divorce later in life. With these demographic changes, it becomes even more critical to understand how different relationship structures influence health outcomes. The positive takeaway from this study is that one's risk of dementia is not predetermined by marital status, and in fact, being unmarried may come with cognitive advantages under the right circumstances. Perhaps most encouraging of all is what this study suggests about individual agency. Protecting brain health may have less to do with conforming to traditional life milestones and more to do with how we live day to day, how we manage stress, who we interact with, what we learn, and how engaged we remain in life. For those navigating later life on their own terms, this research brings a message that is empowering and affirming. Living unmarried does not mean living unprotected or alone. In fact, it may mean something quite the opposite. Ultimately, the door is now open for more nuanced research, studies that explore the quality of relationships, the impact of life satisfaction, and how independence itself shapes the brain's aging process. What we know for certain is that the old narrative, that marriage is always better for your health, is no longer so clear-cut. And for many, this new insight is not just interesting science. It's a powerful reminder that there is no single path to a healthy, fulfilling life, and certainly no one right way to protect the mind as we age.